Morning, gentlemen. Glad to see you all. Very nice program this morning. Please play this tune as though you've never heard it before.
Hello, I'm Alan Bustard, and I'm bringing to you, in the memory of Winston Churchill and Clement Attlee, my suggestion to resolve the problem of the hung Parliament. We need a grand cross-party, grand coalition Brexit Parliament. Any government formed by either the Conservatives or the Labour Party would at this stage be weak by definition, both in parliamentary terms and also divided in political terms. Brexit is, as we know, the most pressing political process that has been faced by our government for the last 70 years. The last such pressing issue was the Second World War, and in 1940 there was a coalition government. That government had Winston Churchill, a Conservative, as Prime Minister, and Clement Attlee, Labour, as Deputy Prime Minister. Churchill ran the war, whilst Attlee ran the country. It was one of the greatest achievements of British democracy, and won both the war and the peace. The new Grand Coalition Brexit Parliament should use the Churchill-Attlee government as its model. The House of Commons should elect a Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister from the leader of the Conservatives, whoever they choose, and the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. The new PM and Deputy PM would then appoint their cabinet based upon a selection of all the talents in Parliament, and each of the parties that are represented in this Parliament are to be appointed to the cabinet as well. Those who have not secured any MPs, I'm thinking of the United Kingdom Independence Party, where Mr. Nigel Farage should be allowed to run in a safe seat unopposed, similar to the Speaker of the House. He will represent UKIP and all of his members' views. This seat will be created anew, so all existing members in newly elected seats or newly returned MPs are fully respected. 2. The Brexit Parliament should be a fixed-term Parliament for a period of 2.5 years and cover the period of the Brexit negotiations. All Brexit negotiations will be subject to the oversight of the House of Commons as far as practically possible. This facilitates that all Brexit sessions will be special sessions held in camera. The public gallery will be open during these sessions to special Brexit Parliament lottery ticket holders. All eligible UK registered voters will be entered into this lottery and then provided with free travel, full compensation and subsistence arrangements so that they may attend the special Brexit sessions. If the EU can keep TTIP secret, we can have a full discussion in an open way whilst ensuring that as a country we do not reveal our cards to what is and has been a hostile EU Commission. This statement is as evidenced by Mr Juncker's inflammatory comments after the hung Parliament was confirmed. 3. The post-election Brexit will be followed by a fresh general election, and this election should follow a referendum on proportional representation. This proportional representation referendum is to be carried out in a grown-up and sensible manner, with properly pedagogic presentation of what proportional representation, which forms are on offer, and how they will work, and why they are more democratic than the first past the post system. No more buses with 350 million a week for the NHS promises will be tolerated or required. 4. The usual party political issues can still be voted upon by the new Brexit Parliament. The Queen's speech, which the new Brexit PM presents, will not give any legislative powers to further diminish our NHS, our public services, and other austerity measures will not be allowed. They are not mandated. The many have spoken against these policies, and they are no longer required or helpful. The new Brexit government's budget, which the new Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister will appoint, will be presented by the new Brexit Parliament Chancellor, and his proposals and his budget should be subject to full parliamentary scrutiny in the usual way.
Mr. Speaker, on Friday evening last, I received His Majesty's commission to form a new administration. It was the evident wish and will of Parliament and the nation that this should be conceived on the broadest possible basis, and that it should include all parties, both those who supported the late government and also the parties of the opposition. I have completed the most important part of this task. A war cabinet has been formed of 5 members, representing, with the Liberal opposition, the unity of the nation. The 3 party leaders have agreed to serve either in the war cabinet or in high executive office. The 3 fighting services have been filled. It was necessary that this should be done in one single day, on account of the extreme urgency and rigour of events. A number of other key positions were filled yesterday, and I am submitting a further list to His Majesty tonight. I hope to complete the appointment of the principal ministers during tomorrow. The appointment of the other ministers usually takes a little longer, but I trust that when Parliament meets again, this part of my task will be completed, and that the administration will be complete in all respects. Sir, I considered it in the public interest to suggest that the House should be summoned to meet today. Mr. Speaker agreed and took the necessary steps in accordance with the powers conferred upon him by the resolution of the House. At the end of the proceedings today, the adjournment of the House will be proposed until Tuesday, the 21st of May, with, of course, provision for earlier meeting if need be. The business to be considered during that week will be notified to members at the earliest opportunity. I now invite the House, by the resolution which stands in my name, to record its approval of the steps taken and to declare its confidence in the new government. Sir, to form an administration of this scale and complexity is a serious undertaking in itself. But it must be remembered that we are in the preliminary stage of one of the greatest battles in history, that we are in action at many points in Norway and in Holland, that we have to be prepared in the Mediterranean, that the air battle is continuous, and that many preparations have to be made here at home. In this crisis, I hope I may be pardoned if I do not address the House at any length today. I hope that any of my friends and colleagues or former colleagues who are affected by the political reconstruction will make all allowances for any lack of ceremony with which it has been necessary to act. I would say to the House, as I said to those who have joined the government, I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I will say, it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us, to wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime. That is our policy. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word, victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory there is no survival. Let that be realized. No survival for the British Empire. No survival for all that the British Empire stood for. No survival for the urge and impulse of the ages that mankind will move forward towards its goal. But I take up my task with buoyancy and hope. I feel sure that our cause will not be suffered to fail among men. At this time I feel entitled to claim the aid of all. And I say, come then, let us go forward together with our united strength.